disaster. We see you when you join. Everything looks good, but then there's no sound. Well, there was sound for a moment, and then you jumped out like after it was. Something many things ignore. Whoa. We jumped up to 4 people. Nice. Hey, it's my new craft. Hello, hello. My new craft. Yeah, just a person I want to talk to. Tell your husband he doesn't have to send me the little disc thing. I just wanted to get a book off there if he can find a way of doing that. It didn't make to be a big deal, but I wanted Mandy to read a book that I had just finished reading before I passed you guys the thing. I thought it was on my computer with all my rest of my stuff, but it's on there, yeah. Yeah, the e-reader had a book on there, if it's still there. Yeah, the SD card. He doesn't have to pass me the SD card. I just want the book for Mandy to read it because it was late 80s. It's something I'm lost. It's Douglas Adams' Last Chance to See. It's about traveling all around the world to try to see these animals before they went extinct. And part of the why I want Mandy to read it is he goes to Indonesia back in the 80s, and he really didn't have a whole lot of good things to say. But I guess it kind of went with the times and kind of what was going on and stuff. It was really kind of interesting. But I want Mandy to read it because, you know, it'd be something we can kind of talk about because I thought it was kind of interesting. I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, it's a really good book. If you get a chance, actually check it out. It's pretty cool. It's a comedian kind of trying to make light of what was going on and what they were doing. And apparently it was also a radio thing. So yeah, it was pretty cool. Oh wait, I just realized I want my glasses. This is why there has to be like the 90 seconds before the whole stream starts, so I can remember all the little details, like put on glasses so I can see. Somehow I had a whole day to get ready, and suddenly now we're down to like 9, 8. whatever. I don't, it's not really seconds, but suddenly I'm like, ah, overwhelmed. Hello and welcome. This is Kevin, also known as AWOL, and we're back with this project for a good friend of ours. It's yeah. If you're thinking, "Wow, Kevin, you're doing the same pattern again," you would be absolutely right. But a friend saw the bag that Mandy got and instantly wanted one for herself, and I couldn't say no. I thought it sounded like a good idea. So we are working with the same pattern. It's a little bit different of how we put it together, but yeah, we can talk about that as we go. I am joined tonight by my lovely wife, Mandy. There she is. And we looks like we have some friends possibly dropping in on us through the Discord. We'll see how that goes. So far, it hasn't worked properly, but Singapore efficiency, heck yeah. So the only difference between this time and the previous times is I've gotten so used to doing this, I don't have to look at the pattern anymore. So that's kind of a plus. Kind of takes me back to the big project era where after a while I just got so used to the abuse, it just kept going. Oh, yeah, that's right. Are you feeling better, my new crypt? Are you on the mend, as they say? Ah, hello and welcome. Yes, it has started. I, for most of my life, have not been able to smell things. My sinuses have always been something of a mess. And then my wife got me these little strips that like tape onto your nose and then kind of have a spring action to kind of flare the nostril. And suddenly I'm able to smell all kinds of things, which has caused me to have things like, honey, come. Well, what is that smell? Because, you know, not being able to smell for so long, I can't necessarily identify things. So I'm sure my wife is thoroughly enjoying the fact that this change has happened.
Some smells are nicer than others to identify.
That's true. I don't know, but for some odd reason, I got the pink ones. So when I go to bed at night, I got a little pink thing across my nose.
first set hybrid.
Wow. Wait, isn't there like two different locations going on at the same time?
Yeah, the other one's still stuck on the Heshka and Draper. Still on serve in the third set.
Oh,
4-5.
Resize the cam. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. So, yeah, the whole time before, while I was trying to actually work out how to do it, I was applying the filter to the camera, to the camera itself. Like, if you go into, so there's your scenes and then what's inside of your scene. And so I was adjusting to what was inside of the street, the whole scene. But I realized that, like, I think this came as epiphany, like as I was going to bed. If I apply it to the scene and not to the actual camera in the background, it would work as a pair without actually affecting the camera or anything else. So yeah, if you right click on the scene, which this one is, I think it's just labeled Kevin and Mandy, something like that. And actually right click on the scene and choose to add a filter. And then it was the mask over filter. And then it worked fine. I was like, huh, that was a whole lot easier than I was making it out to be. But yeah, it worked. Like I said, I can be really smart at times. It's just sometimes it requires like not thinking about it for a little while and let the subconscious like give me the whole answer. Hey, Rainbow. How are you enjoying that summer-like weather going on over there? Everybody keeps talking about how London is so freaking warm.
Heat wave, they call it.
Yeah. I saw a thing recently where the BBC has to work with the local utilities companies because when they go to a commercial break, so many people get up to go make tea at the same time. It puts a sudden strain on the whole electric system. That absolutely like blew my mind. Like that's just so British. I can't even. They don't have that many hot days to actually warrant paying all the money to have an air conditioner put in. It's not like Singapore at all. Like Singapore, you're going to get your money's worth. Sometimes in Britain, they might have 5 days. It's not only that they don't get that many hot days. A lot of the buildings are like, you know, couple right. They're like a couple hundred years old. So some of those walls are like stone for like 10 inches or 12 inches thick. So in order for the house to actually get that warm, it has to like penetrate all that rock. So yeah. Yeah, there's surprisingly more old stuff than there is new. At least that's what I kind of noticed while I was over there. Right. Yeah, like right now it's what, 28 degrees outside.
At 10 o'clock, 10 p.m.
Yeah, right. There's the different grade listings. Right. Yeah, 25. I'd be celebrating. No. No, not compared to what Phil goes through. Yeah. When people talk about it, I'm like, oh, it gets pretty warm around here. And they're like, oh, but it's so hot. I'm like, no, you have no idea. Like 30 is not that hot. 32, not that hot. Like there's a big chunk of America is about to have over 100 degrees Fahrenheit. There's going to be a lot of sad people coming up here real quick. I don't know what 100 is in Celsius. But yeah. Like 40?
38.
38? Yeah. Yeah, so a big chunk of America I just saw on the news is going to be going above 38. Right, because humidity will definitely play a big role. Yeah. That's why I always say that, like, once you hit freezing temperatures, anything below 0 Celsius, 32 Fahrenheit, anything below 0 starts to actually kind of get better because the air goes dry, all the moisture freezes, and then you can dust it off of you. If you're at 1 or 2 degrees, you can get rain, which will soak through your clothes and actually make you actually chillier. You know, but once the air turns dry, yeah, it's so much better, so much easier to deal with. Right. What you do. In a hot, humid place where there's lots of public transit, you're bound to come across a few people who don't know what the concept of deodorant is. Oh, heck yeah, they do. There was some downright chilly places on my day off. Yeah, most of the time I can't smell very well, except for like now that I do the nose strips. Now it's a bit better, but wait, I just heard my phone ping. Why did my phone ping? Oh, see, same pattern. I keep my phone in here a lot. Oh, I see where the ping came from. Oh my God, honey, tell them about the ice cream that they just sent you.
Hi. And you probably won't mind it at all.
For once, there's ice cream in the house, and I'm not interested.
It wasn't that long ago you had a Hershey's McFlurry.
Yes. Yes, but the new ice cream that just got sent to you, it's it's got corn in it. Yeah, my sense of adventure is lost on that. Like, no. Okay, that was words I don't understand, but okay. It's weird how certain coconut things are okay, but like other coconut things I absolutely hate. Like if you give me the coconut where they just pop the top off and you can drink it and eat it, I hate it. But like the almond joy and Mounds candy bars, those are nice. So I don't know what the difference is, but I tend to just avoid it all now. If I don't know what it is, I don't want it. Also, when did candy bars get so expensive? I looked at some the other day at the 7-Eleven. It was like $3 for a candy bar. Like, that's insane. Yeah, right? Doesn't make any sense. Yep. Yeah, I was thinking like, I was at a 7-Eleven and I was like, oh, I could do with a little something, kind of like Snickers. I remember really enjoying Snickers back in the day. I saw it was like 350. I'm like, that's not happening.
That's because it's a convenience store.
Milk chocolate's just nicer. Oh, so the way I got it turned now, you can kind of see it. So there's these cool buckle things on this bag. That's going to be where the strap attaches to. But because they don't bend, it's making the whole, like how I go and turn it, a thing. There's a chocolate cereal.
Stuffed it with Rice Krispies embedded in it.
Ooh. 25 years ago, hun?
Shush.
That's not so bad. That's not bad. Seems like I've had chocolate that has crunchy stuff in it before. Hang on. See if I can think of which one that was. Not Twix. Although that's got a crunchy cookie thing. What was the one that's got like a... Yeah, heck yeah, we do. There's whatchamacallit that has a kind of a crunchy texture to it.
Why did that do that again?
Kit Kat's got like a crunch, but that's not like a. No, there's like a candy bar that's got like a wavy top to it because whatever is inside is kind of crunchy. I just can't picture what it is now. It might have been the whatchamacallit, which was the hilarious name. The adverts were brilliant. The adverts are like, what is the name of it? It's whatchamacallit. Yes, that's it. And they're like, no, it's got this chocolatey flavor in the whatchamacallit. Brilliant marketing. Yeah, I was going to say, I've seen PewDiePie do a video in Japan of all the different kinds of candies and snacks and different things. It seems like they have a just almost endless supply of things that are sweet and whatever. They were trying to pick out which was their favorites. Went through a whole table full of candy. I don't know how they bothered to do it that much. Well, they weren't eating all of it, so like they're having a bite out of each, but crazy. I had to do a double take. I thought you spelled something else there. You. Yeah. Really? Does it look bad?
I have a blast creating cola and strawberry flavored foamy drinks using the 9th edition of this famous candy kit. Oh, this is the 9th edition of candy. It comes with a little plastic toilet container. It's candy powder and add a bit of water and watch it foam. Oh, so we recently went and ordered some clamps, and unfortunately, the website that we were looking at them, we couldn't quite make out the size. They had it as if these things were like on the bars that you use for like filming and whatever. But check these out. Is this not the cutest little clamp? It's kind of strong. It's all right. This part here, these things swivel, so it kind of makes it so whatever angle you come at it, it's pretty cool. I'm trying to find uses for it. Right now, I'm trying it as okay. So wait, I don't something wave. Hard to read out your name. Okay, so wave. There's one small problem you will have with the watch strap unless you buy a watch specifically to do this with, and that is a watch strap is kind of like this pen, right? It's really hard to notice, but where this cap comes together is just a little bit bigger, and because the pen it's springy, right? It slides like this. When you loop the strings over that little pin, right, and that all across that whole bar, it can have it packed in there as tight as can be, and it doesn't seem like it can move much. But wearing your watch, there's a little bit of friction over that little edge of metal, and it starts to eat your string. It will snap them off, and then once it snaps a little bit, now it slides even more. It's going to start snapping them off way faster. The best way to do one for a watch, and I have, yeah, no, but even still, that little bar will mess you up. But there are watches that you can get that has just a simple loop
where it's like there's nothing else on it. It's like you'll see it sometimes with like leather tied to it or like kind of artsy, whatever. You can get these watches kind of cheap if you go like look through like AliExpress or whatever. I've actually done it. I think there's actually maybe one in my shop. Not 100% on that, but yeah, doing a regular watch with that little pin, it will eat it up because I tried this. I tried this back in the 80s and I was able to wear it for about 2 weeks before the whole thing's just got really, really shaky. You're gonna make me look for it now. ECH. Of course, it's not just going to show up. I'm not 100% about this shop, but I know the office is kind of a mess right now. Otherwise, I would totally. Yeah. Yeah. Guys would probably wear their watches a little bit more ruggedly than a woman might. But I tell you what, I swear I was wearing the watch for 2 weeks and it about killed it. I wonder. Sort by. Yeah. Yeah. So doubling up your string means that you can do the lark's head at the tops of this. And yes, there are videos for that. Hey, I'm looking to see if the watch is in the thing. I'm gonna guess it's not.
What's in the shop though?
You remember we just made one not about a year ago, right? I think I know where it is, but I mean, I can't get it right now. I'd have to tear the office apart to do it. So if you take a look tomorrow at the community tab, well, it's formerly known as the community tab. Now they just call it posts. I will have a photo of the watch that I did. But yes. And then as far as like the doing the top of this, I'm trying to think what video I have for that. I know it's been done on a few live streams. It's just a lark's head. It's you take your piece of string and you go underneath the thing and you have like a loop. And then you take that string and you pull it through the loop and it'll anchor down onto it. It's a kind of a simple move. But that's how all the strings are on this. All these strings here are all attached to another string that is what gets joined in and ties the knots and makes all this. But that's how you would do it onto the watch. Yeah. It's not the difficulty. It's the making something that'll last. Because like I said, mine 2 weeks and I broke enough strings that the thing was just kind of bouncing back and forth from side to side and just tearing up what was left. And I was like so bummed because I really liked the bracelet that I'd made. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's the same thing that you see the people who want to do wall hangings, which again, I don't understand why they do wall hangings onto a piece of wood. Oh, glad to help. Yeah, I don't get why they do wall hangings on pieces of wood. If you do it on a piece of string, you can still kind of put the strings to hold it up afterwards. You can make loops along the way. But yeah, if you want, when you do it on wood, it means you can't wash it very easily because you'll destroy the wood. Yeah. Doing pretty good. Oh man. So Wednesday I was out, and while I was shopping, well, I wasn't really shopping. I was just out walking around the mall. I saw a guy. I'm walking past the store. I see this guy. He's got one of those where you squeeze the handle thing, and then up the rod there's like a little gripper for like picking up stuff that's beyond your reach. And he can't seem to get this. There's like a thing with two barrettes on it, and he can't seem to get it off of the hook. And there's like two ladies that obviously they're the ones that want it, and he can't get it off there. And I just walked in, I said, "Excuse me," and I just reached up, took it off the hook, and he turned to the ladies like, "Oh, lucky your husband come along." And they're like, "No, my husband. I don't know who he is." And everybody just starts laughing, and I just kind of walk away. So like, there's got to be somewhere a weird little legend of the tall guy who came in and got stuff off the top shelf. So funny. Right? Yeah, it was out at Suntech. Right. It's that one with the cheapy jewelry over at Suntech. Kind of near the Huga, like further back from Huga, between Huga and that novelty shop. I love that novelty shop. I don't know what the name of this one is, but there's a shop that's got like tarot cards and like little things to put on the doors and like just crazy mix of all kinds of stuff. Like it's really
Right. Suddenly just had a thought that if I have to add strings to this, I don't know that I've necessarily recorded the numbers for these colors of gray. And I didn't set aside colors just in case I needed. I'm making a bag that's big enough to hold a cell phone. I don't know what the new cell phone is, but it's bigger than mine. But this one has.
Pro.
Okay, there you go. My wife knows what the model is. It's for my wife's friend. It's a bit like mine, so this is my phone. Except for it's got these like metal things on it, so that way it can have a body strap, so they'll be able to wear it when they're going off to work or heading out to lunch or whatever. They can wear their phone in a small little bag. It's supposed to be, this is per the person who wanted it, it's supposed to be big enough for their phone and maybe a bit of tissue. So yeah, it should be pretty cool. I have to
take it off the thing in the back here in a second, so you'll be able to see how it looks. Because right now this green thing is going through there, so that way I don't mix up strings from the back and the ones that are on the front. Yes. Exactly. And for anybody who's not Singaporean, to chope your seat is to reserve it by putting a placement, something there that's yours, to show that you have intentions of returning, and don't you take it. It'd never work in America. They would just take your tissues, and when you came back and be like, hang on, I had tissues here, they'd be like, no, you didn't. Especially where I came from. Where I came from, if it's not nailed down, it's theirs. And if they can pry it up, it's not nailed down. Right? All right. Now I can take the clips off of here. So this is what it looks like so far. It's a cylinder with these metal things on it. So now I can turn it and get some of this side here. So we're almost to where this whole thing is going to be level. Oh, so if you've got, this is kind of a big one, but you got to think of tissues like this. You can set that over onto the table and choke it, basically reserve the seat for you until you return with your food. And nobody here will touch it. It's automatically accepted that you got there first. That seat is yours. They might, if they're really pressed for seats, they might wait around and see when you return if they can take a different seat at your table. But it's pretty much accepted that your seat is reserved. And then, yeah, it's just like I said, it wouldn't work in Detroit. It wouldn't work in a lot of places I know of.
That people leave, laptops at Starbucks.
Yeah, I've seen people leave like a camera, like an SLR, at a table at a coffee shop. It was just like, again, that would never work out in Detroit. Thing would grow legs and disappear.
Maybe it's because there's so many cameras here and everybody just assumes that, they'll get caught.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's true. Branded bags. Yep, I've seen that as well. So we're almost to the point of where it joins up again. So instead of just doing 2 segments, I'm actually setting this one up as 3. So basically this will end up being the new lower points. And by the time we get to this one, and it can be even just a little bit further still. And then it'll be the 2 that goes around for the rest.
Does that mean you're reaching a new low?
I'm at the lowest point. But it's only the lowest point until I get it done, and then it'll be the higher point.
You're so tall, I didn't think my joke would go over your head.
Yes. not touching that.
Got quiet. So what's going on in the tennis world there, honey?
Um, Medvedev won the first set in a tiebreak easily, and then the second set they've been duking it out. They are currently in another tiebreak, which Zverev is winning easily. Six love.
Yeah, it got really quiet there for a little bit. 6 love? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking that I'm going to have to do some rearranging here in the office. It's I got the air conditioner running, but I'm like, I am so warm right now. I can't stand it. No, I just got concentrating on like where I am on this, and like, am I doing like the right number of adding on so that way it goes to 2 to carry this on. I'm roasting it here. So where's just string things?
Okay.
What? Oh,
Dead.
in bed?
Oh
Probably.
goodness. Okay.
Oh, yay.
Wow.
I was going to say, we're like 10 minutes away from puzzle time. Where's our puzzle master? I'm going to get one of those frozen things to put on my neck. So I'm already like looking forward to the break. Uh, uh, oh, so it's exclamation mark puzzle, and then where the piece you're starting from, like say A2, and then you put in TO, and then the space it's going to, say like B4 or whatever. But the big trick to the puzzle game is making sure that you hit the thing to make sure like the commercials don't have you like lagging behind. You want to be like as up to date as possible. Otherwise, you end up moving a bunch of puzzle pieces back to where they were because you're behind the times. Because that's happened. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
One set all in Hala.
Hey, what?
One set all in Hala.
Oh, okay. For some odd reason, your mic is just punching through so hard. It's compared to my music, which is like a low roar in the background. Suddenly, when you speak, it's like ah. I was trying to balance it all out, so. What's happening in the other tournament?
The head could beat Draper. Woohoo! And Alcaraz is 2-1 in his match.
Wait, Frenchies are allergic to how? I've never heard of a dog being allergic to mosquitoes. That's gotta suck. So what happens to it? I've seen bees and dogs where dogs went a little bit too crazy and got all stung. Right. I somehow don't even like they no longer register. Like I don't get bumps from mosquitoes any longer. I haven't had a sign of a mosquito bite in years. And I mean like many years. I got bit by something else though once here. It was the worst. I'd break out in a rash whenever I sweat. Do you remember that when we went out?
Sandflies.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't itch. I don't get anything from them. Me? No. I've been free of mosquito bites since like somewhere in the 90s.
Yeah, but some people are just more susceptible and some people are less.
Right. I know some people get bitten more than others, but I mean, I've been around in those places and like I don't even get the welts or anything. The only time I've gotten a welt is if it was like somewhere like where a bracelet rubs against it. But because I don't like feel like, you know how I've like gouged myself or scratched myself and I don't even notice it. Like I won't notice the mosquito bite, and so it like just kind of resolves itself because I don't scratch at it. I don't notice it's even there. I really wish you guys could have heard the bot say that one. Muahahaha. It was so good in that little computer voice. Wow. Well, that's not fair. But isn't it like really dry where you are? Oh shoot! It's time for the puzzle game. Isn't it real dry out in Vegas? Like when I was in San Diego, it rained maybe 6 times during the day for the whole year I was there, and didn't see much in the way of mosquitoes and stuff because it was so dry. Yeah, but California is like a whole different thing. All right. Now it's time to push some buttons here. Let's see. Puzzle game. Start game.
That was it. Well, wow. Okay, I'm gonna. I don't think the puzzle game's supposed to be really chaotic, but uh, that's all good. I think your other players there have a bit more experience. They've been doing this for a little while now. I remember when the first puzzle game happened. Seems like it's been a bit, though. Yeah, it takes a little bit of practice. Oh, oh, my ice thing on my neck just dripped. You know how like when you have a cold glass and like, you know, the moisture builds up. Yeah, it just dripped cold down my chest. I was not ready for that. Well, this is like the longest row I've ever done on one of these.
Oh, wow. Do tell more. Well, that sentence took a big turn. I heard, speaking of ice, my first thought went, oh, all that horrible stuff going on in America. But then it just turned into an ice cream parlor. So, yeah, much better. Yeah, I know, right? Same. I've been avoiding American news just because it's just gotten to the point to where it really affects me badly. Because I've got family and friends there. No, when you get served papers, it's means you got to appear in court. I'm not sure if it's illegal, but I'm pretty sure that's kind of allowable. Like if they can talk you into taking the cash, then yeah.
Yeah, but I don't think you can do it outside of the legal system. You have to do it through your lawyers.
No, they're doing it through your lawyers. You're likely to not get screwed over. There's lots of people who have signed off without a lawyer, took the money, and then found out that, oh, guy, look, why are you complaining? I got $10,000. Like, yeah, I was trying to get you $1 million.
Yeah, but they've already been served.
Right. But still.
So that's off the table already.
Well, no, you can make an agreement and then the case gets dismissed.
Yeah, but I think once there is a case, you have to go through the legal whatever.
That
You
might be
can't just
here.
go on the site.
No.
I've watched a lot of the US legal dramas.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of that in the States. Somebody comes up with the right price tag and suddenly it's like, nope, we're good. Pack it up.
Yes, but you can't just be on the other side and call the other person and go, hey, you have to do this or else.
No, you can't force the other person to take a settlement, but you can talk to their family and but you can talk to the family and say, you know what, it's in their best interest that they take the settlement, because if we go to court, we're going to win and they're not going to get anything. You can talk to the mom, you can talk to the dad, you can talk to family. That's what they're saying. Can you talk to somebody else
in the family and tell them to take the deal, yes, that does seem pretty. It's a kind of a shitty move, but I don't think it's illegal. I've heard of too many cases where that kind of thing happens, where the persuasion comes from within. Yeah, you got to hold out for that big money so you can take a vacation in Singapore. We've got Mozzie sprays and those patches you can put on your clothes.
We just have Minute show her around, and then Minute will be the one getting bitten, and she'll be fine.
Well, that's because you're sweet. We've got a bunch of different kinds. The red ones you got to stay away from. Those ones will fuck you up. The biggest one I saw was like red and black, and I have no idea what it was capable of, but I was like decided I would better just leave it alone. I was at the big reservoir park thing. Really? Yeah, we got some red ones that'll just absolutely vicious. For the most part, they won't like mess with you unless you like disturb where they're doing their little freeway thing. What? 300 millimeters? What? Please tell me that you accidentally put an extra 0 in there. Wait a second. That don't... No. $300 millimeters is 3 cm. 3 cm is still huge.
3 cm is 30 millimeters.
Right.
300 cm is, 300 mm is a foot.
Yeah. 'Cause I'm like
Funny,
trying
I
to picture
found
how
the
big. I'm trying to figure it out in my head. Like I know that it's not this. It's right. Yeah. I'm like I got this the CM part, but I couldn't get to the next like one more decimal. Like where does that put it? Like suddenly I got really
30 cm.
yeah. Well 30. Well no, is it 30 cm? Yeah, that would be it'd be over a foot.
It'll be a foot.
Yeah,
Honey, I found the kids.
that would be a big ass ant, man. Oh wait, I have seen those. I have down at the flower domes. They're shiny.
They're also not real.
Yeah, they're made out of metal. They're shiny, but they're about that size. Yeah. Yeah. So the 3 cm ant, that's probably the red black one that I saw. And I didn't stick around to find out if he was friend or foe. I didn't squish it or anything. I kind of let it be. I was what's the park with the big bridge? You can only go out there during the day.
Which,
There's a treetop bridge that then you
Mary?
after you do the MacRitchie. Yeah, after you do the big treetop bridge, then there's like 1,000 steps downwards, and it was on the wooden decks. I saw this red black ant. And I was just like, "That's a whole bunch of nope." Yeah, yeah. I haven't been out there in a while. I should do that again for a day off.
Two hours later.
What's a blue zone?
um, regions in the world where people tend to live measurably longer and healthier lives.
Oh, nice. Meanwhile, America's going back and going to say that asbestos isn't so bad for you anymore. So, you know, whatever their lifespan used to be, that's all going to get reduced because they're just. So yeah, the EpiPen is expensive, but the stuff that's in the EpiPen is not. And if you get a syringe and the little bottle of what's in EpiPens, you can give yourself your own jab. It's the EpiPen is basically like some big brand name kind of thing and just makes it more expensive. But for people who need it and can't afford it, there is workarounds. I know this because the pen in America is about $500. And yeah, like pharmacists and stuff kind of raised up the whole thing that the actual medicine that's in the EpiPen is something that's way more affordable if you don't get it in an EpiPen. The EpiPen is just really convenient to be able to carry it around with you or whatever. Yeah. Yeah. So imagine if you have like a peanut allergy or something, you have to carry it around. Like, yeah. And the worst part, so they raised it up that much right before the law was passed that all the schools have to have it. So like all the schools had to buy an EpiPen in case one of their students had an epileptic shock. And yeah, that's why it's the stupid price, because you can make government agencies like schools and stuff pay through the nose. Yeah, that part of insurance stuff doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. No, it's all about profits and stuff. There, Blackwell or Black something is suing the insurance company where the CEO got murdered, because after he got murdered, they started like granting more of the, gave people like, okay, yeah, you can have the surgery or you can do whatever. And as far as they were concerned, they weren't get paid back as many dividends from being a shareholder. So they sued the company for giving out like too much stuff to the people. Like, honestly, it's such a racket. And the fact that you can even have a court case like that is absolutely just kind of defines what America is all about. I have no idea what that means, but that sounds awesome. They put it into The Incredibles. Like, it's such a known thing that it's even in like children's cartoon movies. Remember, he got pulled into the office to say that too many of his people that he's insured seem to be able to get through the bureaucracy and actually get their payments. And this can't be happening. Yeah. It's so prevalent, it's actually in a kid's show. It's like they want you to grow up knowing that the system is stacked against you. I'm not sure how far out this is. I think I'm doing it right. We'll see soon enough. I like this song. Jeez, when my natural mom passed away here it's been about a year and a half now, I think. My half sister had to do a crowdfunding thing to pay for the burial. Like, the cost for burying her was too much. There's no, like, Karen had been on like Medicare, so she was getting money from the state to help her pay for like the insulin and that kind of stuff.
but there's like no help for the family to actually even like put you in the ground. So like the whole financial burden fell on her daughter. I'm not even sure quite how that works. Like, obviously, well, legally that's my sister, so I guess it wouldn't have fallen on me. It would fall on her kids instead. I don't know how it worked, but yeah, like the whole system in America, it's just bad. Right. Well, it wasn't even like like a funeral would have been one thing, but like because they like, I don't even think they did a funeral. They just let her go, you know, take straight down to the morgue, and then from there to cremation. Like, to actually do a funeral would cost a lot of money. So they went like the cheapest route possible, where there is no actual funeral services or anything. But it was still, I don't know, a couple grand. It was pretty crazy. I think I went one higher this way than I intended. I'm not sure. We'll see after I catch up with the other part. Oh yeah, that's the thing too, isn't it? Yeah. So, okay, this one's one down. The one here will bring us up to the other level. 1, 2. Yeah, I think I did it right. I hate always second guessing myself with these things. Yep. I was almost, well, I was losing my home. Everything was going to hell. And I was trying to keep what possessions I had, because I had clothes that were suitable for working in office environments, the khakis, that kind of stuff. Plus, in Michigan, you know, you have various jackets because, you know, wintertime cold, summertime, you just need something for rain, et cetera, et cetera. They wouldn't help me because I had stuff,
until I basically sold all my worldly possessions. At that point, I could get some help from like this like church thing group or whatever. There was no help from the state or government. There you can only apply to those things at like the beginning of the year, and it's a first come first serve kind of thing because they don't have the budget for too many people. So if you don't get accepted, then you're just not accepted. So yeah, I would have had to have like I lost everything that I had that was of any value before I could be accepted for help, like getting a roof over my head or anything. I ended up having a friend take me in for a while. That wasn't great, but whatever. It was better than being on the streets. Right. I remember one time I slept in a hospital, like the main whatever on the ground floor, like where family that can't get in to visit would sit and hang out. Security came, woke me up, asked me if it was a case of like me not having a place to go. And I said yes. He's like, all right, I'll let you sleep here, but when my shift ends at 6 a.m, you got to go. And sure enough, 6 o'clock in the morning came, I get a little tap, and I left. Meanwhile, all my worldly possessions fit into a military duffel bag, were hidden out by the railroad tracks because I didn't have anywhere to put it, and I didn't want to like show off that I had possessions or whatever. A little bit after that, the state ended up helping me get a roof over my head and like limited amounts of money to help pay towards like food and stuff. It was pretty weird. I had some real rough experiences in my youth. And so every time they talk about cutting Medicaid, Medicare, or cutting benefits for people, it really irritates me because I went through all of that stuff. I know what it was like, to be out on the streets being cold. That time at the hospital, it was winter out. It was, snow on the ground and stuff like that. So, I mean, yeah. Pretty crazy. And then I see people like Trump come in here and like, oh, poor people, well, they can just die, can't they? Wait, why should we be burdened with people who can't afford to take care of themselves? And it just upsets me to no end. And meanwhile, they talk about America being the greatest country in the world. I don't see it. I don't get it. Not a chance. I honestly think that like Indonesia might even be better than America. At least you know that like you can't really trust the government. You can't trust people of power. You know what's going to happen. The same things happens in, you know, the United States, but everybody pretends like it's supposed to be somehow better. Right. Right. Well, and it wasn't even necessarily that there was a bad apple or whatever. If there's a reason for them to be able to get away with it, a loophole or anything, it's pretty much expected. Because in America, it's not about the consumer, it's about the investor. The investors, they're the priority. Whoever invests in the company, whoever is expecting a payout, they... Right. Right. Hang on, I got a knot coming up in here. I'm not sure which way to pull it. There we go. But yeah, it's actually a thing. Like the Supreme Court has pretty much said that the investor gets the highest priority. Everybody else, it's eh. Maybe they didn't have a tall guy that could reach it. Wait, was just String Things here for that story? No, see, that kind of ruins the whole joke. So, just String Things. Earlier, I was telling about how I was out on Wednesday, and as I was walking past the shop, I saw a guy with one of those things where you squeeze the handle and it's for picking up things that are up higher than you can reach, and he couldn't get the barrettes off of the shelf. And so I was like, I can do that. Like it was obviously within my reach, and I was just walking past the door when I see this all happening, and there's two girls waiting for him to get the thing down. Yeah, so there's two girls waiting for him to get this thing off there, and he can't do it. And I just come walking in, I'm like, excuse me. And like he took the tool away. I just reached up, grabbed it, and handed it to him. And he turned to one of the girls and like, lucky your husband come along. And they're like, no. And suddenly realizing like I am like just some random stranger who just happened to walk along and help them out. And I just kind of had a chuckle and walked away. So there are three people out there who are going to be talking about the legendary tall guy who just came along and just reached up and took it off the highest hooks they had in the store. It was pretty funny. And these just completely random moments where I just do that, like, because people, it happens kind of more than you would maybe think, where like I'll be in a store and see somebody struggling and they're like, here you go. I feel like if I'm blessed with the height, I might as well. Yeah, right. And leaving them, like the dude honestly thought I must have been one of the lady's husbands, because, you know, I keep coming in to help, because it's so, nobody just stops and helps random, right? I must have been somehow involved in the story. And when they were both like, nope, like he's suddenly like, whoa,
who is this guy then? And by then, I'm already starting to walk away. Be funny if the girl said, you know what? Never mind. I don't like him. And he was trying to figure out how to put him back and he can't find me. I got that one. I got that reference. Uh, so does your cat stay asleep all night long, or do you get springboarded? Yeah, mine used to be like 3 in the morning. They would suddenly get zoomies, and if I left my bedroom door open, they'd bounce off me. If I closed the bedroom door, they'd scratch at it like they were being deprived. Yeah, I used to. Good night. Yeah, I used to have the cats bounce off me in the middle of the night, like land right in the stomach area. You just be like, oh, Jesus. Good night. All right, so we're all caught up to the height where it started at. And we've already got this area over here ahead of the game. So that's kind of cool.
How many weeks more do you foresee?
Ooh. This road that we're taking it to will be close to the halfway point. And we've only had a couple weeks into this. I've gotten faster at the whole thing. So, a month or less? Maybe. I don't know. I'm almost caught up with making bracelets for like the daily videos. Once I get those completely caught up, like, because I like having the whole month done kind of thing or whatever. Once I get that, I can actually take time to work on this during the week. I don't know if I will or not, but I can. But yeah, I made a lot of progress though. Kind of blown away with how far it's gotten. It's kind of surprising, like how much faster I can be at this kind of stuff once I have it kind of figured out. Like earlier on, I would be like double checking like which directions a string was supposed to go, or like trying to find where I was on the pattern. Eliminate all that, and suddenly it's like so much quicker. So, a question for whoever's left here: if I were to work on this during the week, do you think I should stream it? Should I like do a 3-hour like if I get a day this week where I have time to work on this thing? Because like I said, I'm almost caught up with the month of July. Once I get that done, I could dedicate some time to this. I could throw in do like a stream like this. Only thing is, if I do it during the day, none of you guys will be awake because it'll be the middle of the night for you guys. But you could always watch it after. I don't know. Like if there's nobody there, I won't be inspired to talk. Or if I do talk, it'll be kind of in between like long breaks because I like get absorbed by the music and the focus of the knots. I don't know. I'm not sure if it makes sense. I can do it without the stream. It allows me to have music playing in the room and do all kinds of other stuff. Right. Right. Yeah. And because you're in Europe. Yeah. Yeah. That makes sense time wise. Yeah, you do just string things. If I get 2 bracelets made on Monday, then I'd probably do this on Tuesday. What? A Tuesday? Tuesday. Yeesh. Yeah, so tomorrow I'll have the Discord open. Tuesday or Sunday I'll have Discord open to like the whole public. Anybody can join in, and anybody who joins in is encouraged to look up like the wiki pages or whatever you need to help me solve whatever little puzzles there are in the Star Wars game. I'm playing Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga, which has like 9 movie versions of games, and then there's just so much stuff in this whole thing. It's crazy. So yeah, I'll be playing Lego Star Wars tomorrow. It's the little reward I give myself for like doing everything else that I like set myself up to do. There were points in the week where I really doubted that I was going to get everything done, and then I did it, possibly because of the love of the game. It's either that or I have a scary game. I think that would be a fun one for a stream. I have a scary game that we could play. I forgot what it's called. Actually, I can probably look it up. Hang on. That one. Oh, I can't because I've got a VPN on. Hang on. Man, it's a lot of work just to find out. Go to my library. So the game is called Limbo. I don't know what it is, but like the cover for it looks like a teeny tiny child next to a gigantic, like, building size. I know, right? I love this song. It's kind of my life these days. So Limbo looks like a giant house-sized spider versus a small child. I have no idea what it's about, but I kept thinking that like that would be a fun one for maybe a stream, because then you might actually get to see me scream like a little girl. I played a scary one recently. It was called The Happy Game. It was not happy. It was really weird. It was a lot of problem solving and creepy stuff. And the whole time I'm like, oh, creepy. Oh no, creepy. It was after that I kind of realized, like, yeah, you know what? Recording those would be fun. It's hit to B square. Hit to B square. Hit, and everywhere. Hit to B square. Hit, and everywhere. What's that?
Have a good one, Ra. Like, that's awesome. Aw. Tell them you're young, you'll get one eventually. One day, unbeknownst, where you'll wake up and you'll be like, oh, that's my good knee. They don't warn you about that when you're a kid. It's true. Is one better than the other, though? Right. Fair enough.
Right. All right, guys, it is time. I will be back on Tuesday for the member streams, and then Tuesday and Thursday. Like I said, tomorrow's play games, have fun, be silly. Should be pretty cool. Before I go, I want to thank my YouTube members for making all this stuff possible. Honestly, it might not seem like a whole lot, but it really adds up. And we have another big string order coming in, and I'm really kind of looking forward to that. So, yeah. Yep. And yeah, and thanks for like sharing stories and cracking me up and stuff. Like, that's totally awesome. All right, guys, have fun. And yeah, don't get your strings in a bunch.